Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Brian. I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Christmas movies, and this is the
Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Hi, everybody. How are we?
Boy.
Are we doing well today?
We're doing as good as can be expected, Bran.
Brian, give me a quick update. You've been doing all sorts of stuff. You went there, you went here, you boycotted the parade.
Sure did. You did.
Best
What's been
decision of my
going on
life.
in your life?
Yeah. Well, I'm like a road dog, I guess you would
Road
say. A
dog.
little bit of a road
Yeah.
dog. A Southeast hockey
You're
road
a
dog.
road dog?
I decided the thing to support in Greenville this weekend was not the parade. It wasn't downtown. It was the up-and-coming hockey scene.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's what youth hockey
Yeah.
is flying.
It's
around
flying.
In Atlanta.
Here. Atlanta.
That's right.
And,
Yeah.
Yep.
How'd
And
it go?
great. We split. Won a game, lost a game.
What's the team we should
Great.
be pulling for?
This is the Rink Invaders.
The Rink Invaders.
Yeah,
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
Greenville.
yeah.
Yeah,
Big
the
Rink Invaders.
The Rink Invaders. We
Yeah,
got
they
t-shirts.
didn't, they
and
didn't book time of the ice. They just invaded.
Yeah,
You
we
know
just
what I mean?
take that right over.
Now, Bri, if those of you listening, at home, wherever you're listening, and
the school
you
bus.
listen because Brian represents New England,
Well-
I need you to know
Yeah.
earlier he thought that the
No.
Boston Massacre had something to do with tea.
No.
That's what happened.
Do you want to explain yourself?
That's what happened. Any other explanation? And producer Aaron will back me up on this. He literally thought that the Boston Massacre was about tea in the harbor.
No.
His Boston card's gone. His New England card's gone. It's gone. Yeah, go ahead.
Can we also talk about how he said Dunkin' Donuts invented tea?
Invented tea.
Perfected.
Oh,
And
perfected tea. Perfected
was
tea. Sorry.
offered a Wagyu beef cheesesteak valued at $140 with a half bottle of champagne, and basically said he just would rather sleep.
I don't eat meat anymore.
So, like, if you
in his defense, that is something he's
yes,
been hard and fast on.
Yes, unless it's Whataburger.
It's been hard and fast.
He doesn't
so
want any
his
part
hands
of
are tied.
meat.
His
The
hands are tied.
massacre. I feel like you just use the massacre for big events.
Yeah.
In and around
Boston would
That's-
never. I feel very confident speaking
Yes.
for Boston here, a city that really, almost to a fault, cares about its history. That you don't use massacre for
Ouch.
everything. You don't use massacre for
Like
everything.
when somebody other than Duncan tries to do a nice coffee, a massacre.
Oh my
It's a
gosh.
Massacre.
It's a massacre.
Like Revere cleaning itself up. It's a massacre.
That's exactly
But
right.
Is there a
tea.
camera angle that is just Dan
There
and
was.
Bran? Doesn't include Brian.
We'll,
This is
we'll
unbelievable.
block them out in
Yeah,
post.
yeah.
Speaking of things that
Block it out in post.
speaking of things that aren't massacres,
Yeah.
Christmas movie magic. It's not a
Oh,
massacre.
Sweeping
Not
the
at all.
nation.
If you find yourself having a massacre this holiday season, you're like, this is a mess. Christmas movie magic will bring it all together. I think. You know, sometimes you
I
get
felt
a
like it
bunch
was
of
one too many massacres.
no, you get a bunch of family members in one room, and
Yeah,
sometimes
it's real
things
bad.
get hairy.
We'll deal with Leah's perfect gift later.
Christmas movie magic is something that will bring the whole family together. There's a ton of fun. You can get it right now. deckthehallmark.com/game.
And we're going to run out of prints. We have one print of this, and you can see on the Amazon, just on Amazon alone, we're getting close to 1,000 we've sold there. We're going to run out.
We're gonna run out.
Christmas con. We're going to be. What day is it today, Brandon? Is it
It's
Tuesday?
Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday today.
It's
we all
Wednesday.
knew that. Happy Wednesday. So tomorrow we leave for
Christmas
New
con.
Jersey, and then we'll be at con all weekend. Come say hello, please. Buy some merch. Buy a
Yeah,
card
we'll
game.
fly back into the studio though for the rest of the week. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, of
Good,
course.
good,
Yeah,
good.
we'll
I'll
be
be
back
above
in the
board.
mornings.
That's right.
But in the evenings
hands are
and in the
tied.
afternoons, we will be at
That's
the
exactly
con.
right.
Yeah,
that's
right.
exactly right.
Come say hi.
And we love Greenville so much we have to keep coming back. Greenville, South Carolina, the
leave,
best
yeah.
place to spend the holiday season. Anytime I have to leave Greenville during the holiday season, which I have to do at least once a year, I'm always bummed, and I'm so happy when
And
I
I
get
knew
to
that
come home.
immediately.
I know.
when you
I'm
asked me.
I'm immediately sad.
Yes.
I fly once I fly out. I look down and I'm like, oh no. Is that Floor Field? I love that place. Is that the ice skating rink? Oh, darn
You can
it.
get tea the way God intended. iced
Is that
and
where my
sweet.
statue would go?
That's exactly right.
Here.
Is that a good spot for my statue? I think it is. Let's talk Private Christmas Princess, shall we?
Oh, I
Yeah.
can't wait.
Private Christmas Princess originally aired on the Hallmark Channel on December 6, 2024, and it went a little something like this. Princess Violet is a simple princess. She loves chocolate and she hates work. And all she really wants is some time with her mom. But it's a busy time of year for the royals. At least they'll always have their festive bake. You know, it's a festive bake, except they don't have that. Mom is too busy.
Festive bakes on Hallmark now? Is it
Yeah, I know.
TVG?
Being queen is hard.
Falls under the umbrella of festive. I mean, there's nothing they
It's a
can do about it.
festive bake.
Yeah.
It's a festive bake. Her mom explains that to Violet that it is if you're going to be
Wake and festive
serious.
bake.
If you're going to be serious
It's in the
about
morning, right? The festive bake's in the morning.
if you're going to be serious
awake
about
and you
being
festive
queen,
bake.
if you're going to be serious about being queen one day, you have to start taking royalty seriously. You got to start figuring out what your mission is going to be. Violet tells her mom that she's going to start focusing and immediately shows up late for the next activity, the royal Christmas tree selection, which is chosen by goats. When the goat gets off the leash and picks the smallest tree, the town is mad, and her mom is left with no choice. Send Princess Violet to Rich People Boot Camp. Cut to Colorado, where we meet Ryan and Squibby. They're
Festive
in-
bake all the time in Colorado.
Oh, man.
It's legal there.
High AF.
For a long time. For a long time. They're in charge and have their hands full with this crew. We got a K-pop star, we got an NFL player, we got a crypto bro, and of course a princess. They all walk into a bar. It is pretty serious stuff. They run, they read, they bake, all of your normal boot camp stuff. And Violet is having a tough time with all of it. She doesn't run, she doesn't know how to read, and she can't bake. But she does know how to be sneaky. Instead of doing the hard work of moving the Christmas trees like Ryan had asked, she sneaks out her phone and calls in some movers. But Captain Ryan is too smart and figures out that they didn't do the hard work at all. He's fed up, and she's like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave. And as she's walking down the street, she comes across a car on the side of the road. It's at this point that we find out that she knows sign language and helps this guy get his car moving. Captain Ryan, I'm sure we're never going to see him again, though. He's not, he's not a
one
part
and
of
done
this.
there.
Captain Ryan sees this and tells her that he's impressed and believes that she can finish his program if she works hard. Princess Violet agrees to return, but only if he lets her decorate for Christmas. It's a fair trade. Ryan and Violet continue to bond, and she finds herself actually enjoying the hard work of the program and enjoying Captain Ryan's company as well. But she has a boyfriend that I forgot about who actually ends up showing up to rescue her, but she says, I don't need to be rescued. I'm not a prince. I am a prince, but this princess doesn't need to be rescued is what you need to know. After telling Scotty, the boyfriend, to kick rocks, I would never tell my Scotty to kick rocks. Christmas Morning Podcast, give it a listen. Honk, honk.
Honk, honk.
To you.
She realizes that she's locked out of the building. So she climbs a drain pipe and sees Ryan shirtless. He's on a Zoom call with his mom, who's excited to see that he has a girlfriend crawling around on the floor in the background. She loves it. Captain Ryan acknowledges that...
Save Private Ryan
Save
for
Ryan.
later. That's right.
Captain Ryan acknowledges that it would be against company policy for her to be, they can't date. After he hangs up, they go to talk by the fire and they share stories about people that they've lost. They're having an absolute blast together, as you can imagine, singing Christmas songs to the elderly. What could go wrong now? Well, when Captain Ryan discovers that not only does Violet have a secret phone, but that she also accidentally broke his special bench, he kicks her right on out of the program one day before graduation. Violet's mom, who's already shown up for graduation, is very mad, and Violet says, I don't think you're mad at me. I think it's clear that you're still grieving the loss of Daddy King. The next day, Violet is walking into the town square and finds out that there's a woman in the town whose kitchen isn't working. She convinces the rest of the cadets, I guess that's what we'll call them, to make dinner for her.
Why start now?
So they all get together and they start to bake. But where is Violet? She's fixing the bench with the random guy that she saved in the car. Where'd he come from? Where's he going? There's a chance that he's Cotton Eye Joe. They throw a party and Violet shows up in full princess garb. Ryan says that he's passing everybody, including Princess Violet. Violet and Ryan go to sit on the bench together, and she asks for permission to kiss. He says permission granted. And that, my friends, was
Private Princess Christmas.
Christmas.
Yep.
He wrote
There
it down.
it is.
I saw it in the notes. It said Private Christmas Princess. I'm like, he's going to say that wrong, and I forgot to tell you. We had a little bit of technical difficulties here this morning.
Our
so
hands are
yeah,
tied.
yeah,
Our hands are tied.
To get this on by 6 was quite a miracle this
Yeah.
morning, in
Yeah.
all honesty.
Yeah, we did a great. We
Yeah,
did a great job. Philo.tv.gth. It's always there when you need it.
Sure is.
Us.
Is that their new
Philo?
slogan? It's
Now it
always
is.
there when you need
It's
it.
always there when you need
Is
it.
it a
Let's take
CPAP machine?
It
Or like
is.
a-
It is whatever
Life
you
insurance.
need. Philo's there for you. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll break this movie down with 4 segments.
Oh, I love
Things
that plan for
here
us.
on
Deck
Deck
the
the
Hallmark.
We're back. Hello, everybody. We're talking about the Private Princess Christmas.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the one.
Scratch that.
I
Reverse it.
drafted it.
Well, let's talk about this movie that Dan drafted. Let's share our thoughts on it. We're not going to hold back, and that's why I'm going to throw it to the guy who holds back simultaneously the most and the least. Brian?
Go ahead, Brian.
All right. I did not expect to have so much fun with this movie. this movie was so borderline dreading it, thinking this is going to be.
I mean, you
the
saw the
same old-
poster like we all did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brutal looking. I had a really good time. I don't know how.
You had a what?
I had a really good time. A really good time. Much better than I expected. It took the one thing about it took itself too seriously. Like they were straddling here on the line of like, we're going to go bonkers crazy with this idea. I love this idea. Some misfits have to get together for a boot camp that
This is a real Tea Party situation.
this may or may not misfits.
They're all filthy
outcast-
rich.
right? But they're all like on the.
I will tell
on-
you, continue with the too serious thing first before we get to Misfits.
Yeah,
Because
there's-
I have one point I would like to make that I think you're
Okay.
about to hit on. Go ahead.
that they could have gone more bonkers, leaned into the funny, and they didn't. They were too
Correct.
serious. They were on that line of we're gonna go nuts.
To the point that it could have been satire. Like I thought
Yeah.
the best read of this
Yes.
movie is that it's satirical to royal movies and to army movies and
Yeah.
to all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's the only way this movie can pass.
And
is,
I love that idea.
yeah, I do too. I love that idea.
And I thought and I kept thinking, oh, they're right there, they're gonna do it, and they would get serious and do something, right down the middle, and so it would bring it back. So that I wasn't as into with the characters. I feel like they were not. Like they didn't
Good?
go far enough. Yeah, like they were too good in a sense. Like they weren't too extreme enough. Like the crypto bro needed to be way more of a jerk. The TikTok star or the K-pop star needed to be more of a star. Like they just didn't.
that
make
would
them,
require them to be like actors.
It wasn't extreme enough in that sense for me. Part of me really wanted Captain Douglas there to like break them in this
Captain
boot.
Douglas?
Douglas, the guy leading the
Captain
boot camp.
Ryan.
Captain Ryan.
Captain
Private
Ryan.
Ryan, as we
Private
call him.
Ryan.
Yes.
I wanted him to break them in this boot camp, like go hard, like and
It's
it
not that kind of boot camp.
did not happen. I kind of secretly always wished that I got thrown into a boot camp just to like test to see where I'm at.
The problem is that would involve you breaking a rule.
Right. Well,
Like-
that's what I was saying. That they were misfits because they were sort of like on their last chance. This was their last chance,
For
basically.
what? To be rich?
To whatever. Like it seemed like the crypto guy got in trouble, and they're like, "You got to go to this boot camp, or else, like, you go to jail." Or the princess, either you do this or you're not princess. Like they were all sort of on their last chance there,
Your last chance to be
which
princess.
was like
yeah.
that's not. But again, not severe enough. Like I need stronger severe weather warning there. So ending was really, really stupid. I really wish that it leaned into the craziness, the zaniness of it, and was satirical. But it surprised me. I had a better time with it than I could have ever imagined.
There you go.
You know what? I was.
The table's on fire from that take. It is scalding.
Uh-oh. You guys know me. I'm always willing to give things a chance and typically give them the benefit of the doubt. And I was not hating myself while I was watching this movie until and I think this is to both of your points about just like pick a lane. Until she leaves and then saves a guy by using sign language and then puts the bag.
That was an experience.
It was so out of nowhere
Yeah.
that I just was like, okay, this is what's happening here. And yes, there was plenty of opportunities for this movie to be silly and for it to be fun, and it just didn't do that. And the times where they tried to be silly and have fun, I also didn't really feel like those scenes worked. And so this is a miss for me, unfortunately. We got one princess movie, royal movie this holiday season, as far as I know. There might be a sneaky royal somewhere. And unfortunately, this one was a miss. It's not going to be in the royal rotation, if you will, the RR as we call it. But it happened. It is what it is. I don't think it's the worst of the year, but it's down yonder for sure. Dano?
Yeah, if this movie is supposed to be taken seriously, it's one of the worst movies of all time. If this movie is satirical, which that's how I read this movie, there are so many parts in this movie where like the goat picking the tree and the mismatching uniforms and the complete lack of trying across the board in army, in boot camp, in princess and royalty, in any of that stuff. Like, if this movie's supposed to be satirical as a joke, what we got is one of the worst of the year. So if it's supposed to be serious, it's one of the worst movies of all time. If it's satirical, they didn't do a good enough job, to Brian's point. They could have made something really fun and funny. You have the elements here to make fun of royal movies, to make fun of boot camp / armed services movies, the way that Hallmark makes them. You have all of the material here to do that. I read it as satire, and it's still not good. And it's not good because they never go far enough, to your point, Bri. Everyone that isn't our leading lady, whom I did like quite a bit, I would be thrilled to see her in more of these. Everyone else in this, bleh, tough. And then every time you think they're going to try to make it a full farce, they pull you back in with one of the dumbest lines or set pieces or something that you've ever seen. I drafted this movie, and I'm here to tell you, it's terrible, guys. It's really bad. I have a few lower than this because, as Brandon and I talk about, although we disagree on what constitutes this, but being like a drag and boring is the cardinal sin, right? So like for me, Novel Noel and Five Gold Rings, those movies have a special place in hell that this movie does not descend to. But it is terrible. Make no mistake.
There's movies in hell. No breakfast, though.
No breakfast, but Novel Noel on a loop.
Wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
absolutely. So for me, yeah, it's gonna be somewhere near the bottom. This movie's not good. It either is so bad it's funny, or it tries to be funny, it's not funny enough, and it's the worst of both worlds. And I can't believe Brian's take.
Let's get to all the feels.
Yeah.
Brian, what gave you feels in this movie?
Sure. I consider The Sound of Music, I associate that with Christmas too. And you really don't hear it. It was a good reminder. I haven't watched it in maybe a couple of years, and I probably should give Sound of Music
That's
a
what
seasonal watch.
I'm sorry, and I'm gonna apologize ahead of time. Is that where my favorite thing is?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So that's always been a song where I'm like, I don't understand why this is a Christmas song. So
And to me, it's not. I don't listen to it anytime except Christmas.
I don't either, but I also would be fine not also
Oh,
hearing
man.
it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I love that song. I'm not getting on your case at all.
I know somebody's gonna be mad at me, and I think that's
Not
that's
more
fair.
mad than they
That's
are at
fair.
me. So don't worry about that.
I got two feels, actually, believe it or not. The one thing that I liked what they did here, it was a swing and a hit.
Uh-oh.
Granted, a single, but a hit. When
Slapped
they
it the other way.
as bad as the stations
E4 on that one.
Yeah.
as bad as the stations were that they had to do, the trust fall, the whatever, when they
Yeah.
introduced them and they went to that super widescreen like I thought that was a fun way to showcase it, and I thought that it worked. And that was the one time where I was like, that's funny, and also it works for what they're doing here. So great job. Also, I wasn't sure what was happening when they were making the construction paper Christmas tree, but when it was all said and done, Lovely. Really liked it. I'm not going to make it because I know if I tried to do that type of craft, it wouldn't look like that. And I don't think that this crew would be able to do it either, being as how they never worked a day in their life.
Anything.
But
yes.
Well done. Looks great. Dan?
We watch movies with the troops that are super duper serious, and we watch movies with the troops that the people just shouldn't have made the movie because they didn't get it right or close to right. I've never seen a movie, and I didn't know where to put this. I've never seen a movie that does this with the troops. I just, as someone that doesn't want to hold people on a pedestal because I think soldiers are soldiers for a reason, I can't imagine being a troop and watching this movie and trying to decipher the message of what the armed service, or is this like, I was so confused / angry at what was happening on that front, and that we never got any explanation for it. That was my lasting impression of this movie, and that's why it's my feels. Fair?
Sure.
I tried.
You did great.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to the Wait What and the What the Hallmark here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Really?
Yeah, that was way better than the first one.
These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad. Let's get to the Wait What. This is where we talk about
not
my
a Christmas
favorite
lyric
thing.
in there.
There's a ribbon. There's boxes and ribbons.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
don't
all you
feel
need.
so bad.
Brian, give us your Wait What's. What made you go,
Yeah.
wait 1 second, please.
One big one was for me was last time I checked, you can't J-hook a gutter. I don't know how she climbed up that gutter. They were talking
great point.
real hard about J-hooking that rope with that foot, and she didn't get to use that J-hook.
I got to be honest. There are no less than 24 Wait What's in this movie. And Brian out of the gate is like, you can't J-hook a
can't.
gutter.
You
You're not
can't.
getting that past me.
Yeah, nice
Not
try.
on my watch,
Nice
you
try.
perfect movie aside from J-hooking a gutter. You're amazing, but J-hooking a gutter.
Come on, guys.
Guys,
Come
give
on.
one pass on the script. Come on.
We just went over it. Like we just learned
you
the J-hook.
can't J-hook a
Colonel
gutter.
Colonel Yates, who went to get Private Ryan from his job to try to convince him,
Let's save him.
folded like a Christmas sweater when he said no. Immediately, Private Ryan's like, no. He's like, okay.
All right.
All right,
He'll
next
see
in
you.
line. Didn't put up a fight at all. I don't know how he got the Colonel designation is all I'm saying.
Seems like something shady's going on in the armed forces. Is that what you're saying, Brian?
Man, it was just a little out of character.
You think the Colonel slept his way to the top? Is that what you're getting at?
J-hooking some
J-hooked
gutters.
his way. He shouldn't J-hook up there. Colonel Shep. We know Shep was a big part. Drives a BMW. Okay.
Okay.
That guy doesn't have a piece of German engineering in his life.
No.
Come on.
No.
Please.
No.
Are you kidding me? I'll end on this one. Douglas, Private Ryan said to Princess.
Pretty airtight for Brian there, Brandon.
I got a bunch, but we do have to. We're
We're up
running
against
behind
it.
here.
Yeah. It's never stopped me.
The Private Ryan said to Princess, "How do you expect to lead a country if you can't make Christmas cookies?"
It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy.
Just a tough. I wonder how many takes. I know they don't get a lot of takes. That must have taken all the extra takes.
I mean, yeah.
to
All
get
right, cut.
through.
You're going to have to say that without laughing.
a little.
You're going to have to
come
try
on,
your
man.
best.
Just take it seriously. So yeah, I'll stop there.
So she's not telling anybody that she's a princess, but she says her lady's maid, and the football player's like, "Hold on a second, you're a princess." What about I wouldn't have gotten there.
No.
If someone said lady's maid, I'd been like,
If
"Are you
someone
British?"
said ladies' maid,
Yeah.
I would have been like, "Oh, that's some England talk
Yeah,
for you."
you are who
Yeah.
you sound like.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
They call her princess throughout, he calls, and so the NFL guy goes, "Wait, are you a real princess?" And she goes, "Yes." So it wasn't like, "Oh, ladies'
they're
maid,
not- okay.
princess." He's been calling her and addressing her as
Okay.
princess
So
such
it's-
and such all movie.
They're not hiding it, is what
No,
we're
they're
saying.
not hiding that
Got
she's a
it.
princess. She's out in the open. He's been addressing her as that.
And then ladies'
They
maid
just
tipped him
kinda-
off that
they
it's a
just
real
kinda
princess.
thought
Yeah,
that
I
he was
just-
giving her a nickname.
I don't know how you get there though.
If you I was calling someone princess all movie and then she mentioned her ladies' maids, I'd be like, I would put that together.
I would just be like, "There's more British. You couldn't
I
be
don't-
more British."
I don't assume regular British people have ladies' maids.
If you're at the boot camp, I do. This is fancy rich people
right.
boot camp.
That's
fancy
true.
rich
Fancy
people
rich
boot
people.
camp.
Boot camp.
Right, fancy rich people plus princess equals princess. It just wasn't a
That's
leap
fuzzy
for me.
math right there.
But maybe that's
Yeah, sure. I'm concerned. Like, I know that Squibby is doing the best that Squibby can, but
Sure.
someone's got to help Squibby out because Squibby comes in there.
When's the last time Squibby's been in a troop?
Oh, I don't know. But Squibby comes in there, and Squibby's got
Honorary.
a platter full of sandwiches. And Squibby
Just hold-
has made the decision that I'm going to hold this platter throughout the entire prayer.
Yeah.
And someone's got to be like,
Squibby.
Squibby, you can put it down. Like, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Squibby's
Squib.
holding it. And I wish Squibby would have been like, I wish they would have been something funny there. But Squibby's the MVP of this movie, if you ask
100%.
me. Man, this guy came to help her with the bench
Benchy.
because she helped him with car.
Yes.
And he brings the tools.
Sure does.
She does the thing. She hands him back tool, and he just walks into the woods. And I guess that was that. He said, "I did what I did what I came for, and I will now walk into
This
the
direction."
woods. I'll walk into the woods, and that's where you
That's
can
where the
find
wood
me.
is.
That's where the wood is, and that's where you can find me. And I just like this guy. How did she get a hold of this guy to be like, hey? You remember me? I helped you with the car. I now know you. I bet you have
owe
tools.
me.
Yeah.
I bet you have tools. Can you help me? And then after next thing you know, he's at fancy dinner. This guy. What a story. What a life. And I hope the woods. I hope the woods are nice. Dano.
I do want to point out that at the beginning of this movie, the princess cannot get a front row seat to the a cappella concert of her own country. The princess of her own country. She is fifth row middle.
It's like a
in the
pentatonics
on the
concert.
aisle. They did the best they could. It was general admission. She didn't get there early enough. She's the princess of the country. Why is she sitting just in the middle of the crowd? Like, you would never, everybody's like, is that the princess? They didn't get her in the, didn't get her like a box or like in the front row or
She
None
is
of-
actually an audiophile, so she
Yeah.
she knows the best seat in the house for the
true.
sake
The
of
sound.
audio.
yeah. It's his fifth middle
Yep,
right there
everybody
on the
knows that.
aisle.
You don't want to sit front row.
She says, and I quote, "I'm not familiar with silent reading."
Yeah.
What? Are you a grown human being? Those two words, put them together. Do you know what silent is? Do you know what reading is? That's silent reading. You don't have to have done it to be familiar with it. You can say, I don't silent read. It's not my thing. I hate to read silently. I need to read out loud or have audible. But you're familiar, Princess, you're familiar with the concept of being silent and the concept of reading, right? Like, those two things ring a bell. Squibby says she's lost friends because of her love of the Atlanta Falcons. I call BS. No one's ever lost anyone because of anything Atlanta Falcons related. I'm sorry.
Maybe
I'm
some
sorry.
money.
This is not meant to be a shot at the Atlanta Falcons, but how we're very close. They're basically the closest NFL team to us. Carolina Panthers showed up when I was in like 8th grade, but it's close. Has anyone ever heard of the ardent fan base of the Atlanta Falcons? And you live in Falcons territory. Never heard of it.
Man, the shade at the Falcons.
Never heard of
today.
it. Never heard. Look, guys, it's just not one of those fan bases. It's
What
not.
are they going to talk about? The fact that they gave up that lead to the Patriots? in the
Yeah,
Super Bowl?
exactly. Now, if it
we
was a
talk about it.
Patriots,
We can talk about it.
if it was
It's
a
fun.
Patriots
That's
wide
very
receiver,
fun.
all right, then that makes sense, right? Like that's crazy. I just,
Why they
Really
pick the
tough.
Falcons, you think?
I don't know. I have no idea why they picked the Falcons at all because they didn't ever say Atlanta. But
Yeah, it
they
could be
said
any team, really.
NFL wide receiver and Falcons, like, pick a. There's a lot of ardent fan bases out there. I've never met a ride or die Falcons fan, and I know we're gonna get all kinds of emails. I get it.
Stan at
Probably not.
Because
DeckTheHomer.com.
they're out there. Please, Brian at DeckTheHallmark.com. Send them.
Oh, man.
We get to see our fair share of photoshopped pictures to make people look like they've been around a while or they've been together. The Photoshop in this guy's office is one of one. There is a picture of him in a white t-shirt facing a line of soldiers, and it is brand on right now. If I gave him 30 seconds, could do better right now. Like, literally, he makes movie posters for his kids, and he showed me one. It looked better than this. They had weeks to put this together. The Photoshop in this movie is insanity. It is crazy. That's when I thought it was satire. When I saw the Photoshop, I was like, they're doing this on purpose. Yeah. They're making fun. If it wasn't for the fact that we got another movie this weekend in Sugar Plum that also kind of poked fun at what a Hallmark movie was, I would think that maybe they were trying to do this real bad. I also had a problem with this princess being depicted as so lazy, like her servants read for her lazy, but she also took the time to learn American Sign Language, which is like, you have to be dedicated to do that. You either are the lazy, highfalutin, out of touch with you just can't be both of those things. Like, you can't be sent to behavior boot camp because you're lazy and don't want to do anything, and also just like really grind on, American Sign Language. I like.
But also, if that is you, then that's your mission. Like, it's pretty obvious.
Yes, easy.
I have one thing that I've
so easy
that I've attempted.
Yeah. This is too high for a trust fall, guys.
It's too high.
You are asking a group of people, none of which are known for their strength or stature, to catch a falling NFL player dead weight from a story up in the air. It's not like a trust fall where his heels are even with your feet off a stage. He climbs up and he's scared to fall. Of course you're scared to fall, bro. Yeah. We all would be scared of. They're not doing it. You get that guy a story up, and you got 5 people that weigh a collective 700 pounds who've never lifted a thing in their life. They're going to drop him. They're going to drop him. Yeah. He should not have tried it.
Where was his agent?
Yes.
Where's his management?
This is not a good idea. No. And then last of all, if you didn't laugh out loud when you saw the bench dedication, you're not human. This bench dedication is basically blank. It has a little bit of wording at the top. It has a little bit at the bottom, but 80% of it is just a blank piece of wood.
You know how hard it is to write on wood?
Dedicated to no one. It's just blank.
Just leaving some space.
This movie's brutal. That's all I got.
Fill it in.
It's time for What the Hallmark is, where we wonder what could have been.
Because we're here. Yep.
Questions that we still have. You ever start talking and go, uh-oh. I don't get the breath for this. Nope. Brian?
Yeah, my big What the Hallmark was around just the boot camp and who decides they're going, who's paying for it.
Is Army, if our tax dollars are paying for this,
what I'm saying.
I'm out.
Like, is this a sanctioned thing by the Army? Like, are they getting
That's
paid?
the classic one. Yeah.
Like, this is it's just very distracting because I just would really, are these soldiers out of Army and doing this as a private job? Like, we didn't get enough info on that situation.
For sure. That was one of mine. I just am concerned about my tax dollars going towards especially princess, like from another country.
From another country.
Keep it in house, guys.
Yeah,
keep it in house. America first.
I think the problem is
the regards to the boot camp.
Of course.
Yes, they make it this big deal that like this captain or whatever is working at like some Best Buy and they're like, you got to come back.
Private Ryan.
We need you. And it's like, are they recruiting him back to the armed service? Is this Army? Is this Navy? Like, there's a dress white. Is it Navy? Is it the Marine? Like, but and then we have people from foreign countries who are here and we're paying. Mm-hmm. I just couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't add up at all.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess my other one is like, we hear about like there's like boarding school and stuff like that. We've had that storyline a ton of movies where it's like the rich people are going to send their kids to boarding school to learn a lesson. Is there like a boot camp like this where you go and there's a veteran there that's getting you into shape and try to teach you a lesson? Like, does this exist? And if so, what's it like? Dano?
Yeah, mine is all about the goat picking the Christmas tree. Listen, they bring out a scroll and they read on a scroll that the law of the land says that this goat has to pick this tree. Mm-hmm. Why is it the princess's fault the goat is not trained to pick the tree? It is, first of all, it's stupid. First of all, it's dumb. A goat's picking your town's tree. But second of all, if it's been decreed that this goat and this princess has done nothing to show you that she, like, why? if you want it to be a situation where the princess and the goat go out there together, it didn't make any sense to me that they would expect anything other than the goat picked a bad tree.
I just got word that we have the goat on the line. Goat, are you there? Goat, how are you?
I'm great.
Merry
man.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
So explain your
I pick trees.
Yeah, so-
the greener the better.
Okay. So in this movie,
I
it's your
love the green.
it's your job.
It's a festive bake.
Okay, interesting. We'll get back to that in a second.
Different green.
That's the problem right there.
So when you go out to find the perfect Christmas tree, obviously in this case you went and you found a small one. What was it about that small one?
Short and stocky wins the race.
Okay, that is the old saying.
Yeah.
That is the old saying. And then what do you do the rest of the year?
I usually chew on poison ivy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that a full-time job for you?
Oh, you bet.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Are you allergic?
No,
I got you, boo.
That's great. Is there good benefits? Good bennies?
Oh, great benefits. All the
Okay.
festive bake I can handle.
Now, I know most people probably have their Christmas tree by now, but is there any advice that you would give if somebody who does,
Raise your fur.
okay?
That's it.
All right. God bless.
That was helpful.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was.
very
Raise your
helpful.
fur is his advice.
love that. That's
The
great.
goat. There it is.
Well, we did everybody. Congratulations.
Likes that sticky.
Princess Christmas
a sack.
Princess.
Yep.
It's the private Christmas.
Yep.
Private.
Private Princess
Private
Christmas.
Princess. It's a private.
You're rehired, right?
Thank you.
We're gonna be back tomorrow with
all the
sugar
R.I.P.
plums.
Sugar plumbed.
Plums.
It was a
Join us for
massacre.
that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Until then, maybe the first to wish you a
Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. Is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.